Shekrin, comment vas-tu? In previous video I've talked about how to create an interesting, believable character and, well, so that this character would be entertaining and captivating to watch, read about. And I've mentioned about writing a backstory for your characters as the way to make it possible. And today I'd like to tell you a little bit about backstories itself, because why not? I mean, like, there are gonna be examples! Yay! So, to begin with, just in case, by backstory I mean the life of the character before the beginning of the story. It includes the information about the family of the character and relationship within it, the way this character grew up and in what conditions. From a backstory we can see the way people treated this character and the way she acted in response. From the backstory we can also get to know the personality and experience of this character, what she stands for, what are their fears, hopes, dreams and so on, and of course how the hell did this character actually appeared in the story itself. All in all, by writing the backstory you get to know your character better and understand how her personality, worldview and the way she acts formed like. For example, in that epic fantasy book I've mentioned in my first video about writing, there was a character named Shannon. She's a shop mage, half vampire and one of the main antagonists of the story. She is also one of the 6 generals of the leader of the bad guys and his lover as well. As story goes, we see her as quite a conscienceless, power-hungry whore that is like ready to, I don't know, eat newborns to please the master. But as we see from the flashbacks and from the antagonist's perspective, we see her in a completely different light. She's quite a normal person that joined Michael, basically the main bad guy of the story, to protect her family and, well, to find a cure for her dad that is going mad whenever the unreality star is seen in the sky. That is basically made them to move a lot. Also, Michael swore to, well, basically to help her to find the cure for her dad and protect her family and, well, give this family any assistance and help that was possible, and which he did. So, yeah, quite a good, alliance, I think. Shannon is for sure one of my favorite characters in the category. I have no freaking idea whether I like you or hate you, but I for sure feel sorry for her when Michael in the end forced her with their child and his brother to run away so that they would be safe, because they all knew that the battle, the war were over, and basically if she didn't go away she would be killed as well as basically as Michael, as his brother Darren, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if he's Darren, and their newborn child by the group of good guys that were already in the fortress they were currently in at that moment. You know how a lot of people think that the author has to either love or hate her characters? What I say to that? Bullshit. When I write a character, I want it to be realistic and believable, so I take inspiration from real people in the real world, and I can't say that I just love or hate people. I feel a lot more different feelings towards them. So what can I say to you, my dear, darling writer? You don't have to either love or hate your character, but you have to for sure understand him, her, and, well, to feel at least something towards this character, because if you don't care about him, her, this hero, character, whatever, why would the reader, the viewer of the story care about him, her? Also, while you're writing the story, there are basically 2 characters you must always give a backstory to, at least the short one. These are your protagonist and antagonist, at least the main protagonist and the main antagonist. A lot of writers seem to forget about the importance of the antagonist and focus mainly on the protagonist. So that in most cases the bad guy comes out to be quite flat, one-dimensional character that does stuff because he does stuff. That is kind of stupid, you know? So what I want to say is that you must concentrate as much of the attention on the antagonist, on writing the antagonist, as much as you do on writing the protagonist. You must explain yourself and the writer, jeez, the reader, the viewer, how did this character became this way, became the antagonist of the story, and why did she act like that or another way, something like that. You must always remember that if there weren't any antagonists in the story, there won't be any story at all, so don't forget about the damn antagonists! The book I'm working on, writing at the moment, 10 days, there are two protagonists that are antagonists towards one another. There is some kind of Romeo and Juliet thing going on, but without famous love story itself. Their families are blood enemies for centuries now, even though any member of those two families doesn't remember why this local war has started. The never-ending killing of members of the opponent's family doesn't really help to create any kind of, not even peace between those two families, but at least neutral relationship between them. So basically some kind of bloody drama-lama going on there. At the beginning of the story there are only two members of those two families left. They are the protagonists of the story, Francesca Cavalcati and Adriano De Rossi. They both want to kill one another to revenge the killed family member. We get to know their backstory, the way their relationships formed throughout, well, basically the whole book, beginning with a prologue. We get to know about it through the narration, talk among the people, the dreams that characters have, and of course through their conversations with one another when they are traveling through the desert. Basically, backstory serves you as some kind of Wikipedia to get to know better about some certain character, to understand him, her better, and is basically known in most cases only by the writer of the story. But it can also be used in the story itself. For example, you can use it as I'm doing it with my 10 days book. The backstory is used to make the reader understand the evolution of the relationship between my protagonist better. In fantasy stories, backstory can be used as some kind of vision some character has to proceed the story. In detectives, some kind of backstory is used if you want to show the way criminal did that or another thing. Some stories contain the backstory as the main plot. In most cases, it's something like the interview, during which the character tells the story of his life. The interview with a vampire, for example. Or some stories have it when the backstory slowly reaches the time of the story itself, like The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. And, well, sometimes the backstory becomes the story itself. It happens when the writer decides to make some kind of a spin-off of the main story and tell the reader, viewer, the backstory of one of the characters of the main story, something like that. And, well, in short, that's what I wanted to tell you about the backstory. For the moment, at least. Well, I really hope that you will find it useful and it will help you. Well, if you did, and if you want to see more videos about writing and just, like, random blogs about life in general, depression and psychology, then subscribe to my channel! Yay, that will be great! You can also watch some of my other videos that will be somewhere here and in the description box below. You can follow the links and just watch them. Also,